العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ربنا زدنا علما أجمعين وعلمنا الكتاب آمين. Alright, we were in, I think, lesson 8 or 9, right? So we did most of 8. We think we just have a few things we want to go over. Did you have any homework from lesson 7? Anyone? I don't think I gave any, right?
No, you did give us homework.
Lesson 8 we have
But
homework.
Not from 9. Okay, yeah. So you had homework from 8.
Yeah. 3 homework.
Yes, a lot of homework. Okay. Let me just make sure. Okay, so everyone go to the last page of lesson 8, which in the blue book, with the black and white book, is page 42. So the kalimat al-jadida, the new words, I just want to go over them for a second.
And the big one?
The lesson 8, the new words in lesson 8. Yeah, 46, sorry. Kalimat al-jadida, the new word. Alright. Alright, so the first word is what? Can someone say it?
Mustashfa.
Mustashfa, right? So it says al-mustashfa. So it says al-mustashfa, which means hospital, right? So one of the things is that you're going to see words that have a ya in the end, but they don't make the ya sound. Okay, so this, when you say this, you say al-mustashfa, right? And the reason is that this ya, it doesn't have any dots under it. So usually if you have the word something like fi, right, the fi has dots on it, so you pronounce the ya, you pronounce the e sound. Yes.
This book is which page?
That book, just go to lesson 9 and then flip one page back. So, are you about to? Do you need to leave? Okay. Let me just take a time out for 2 seconds.
Make the most of it. And you have. Yeah.
you're talking about the yeah at the end, I've read somewhere that some people were saying that that's actually an alif. That's how the alif appears. You can think of it as an alif at the end of the sentence. Was that right?
It may be true because when we get into verbs, we're gonna see that there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on with these three letters, especially when they're in verbs. Do you have a question?
Yeah,
What's your name?
I mean,
Amin? Okay, Amin, go ahead.
I thought it was actually alif at the end because I was in Sister Wafad's class for Arabic, and she was I think that was one of the lessons she told us.
That it's an alif?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna hang on to that just because it's not really useful right now to know more because it's morphology, right? So we're gonna learn the alif, the waw, and the ya. They're considered weak letters. So when they come into verbs, when you form like different types of words with them, they change, and sometimes there's an alif. It's an alif in it's an alif in one format, and then it's a waw in another. Like, what does the verb qala mean? He said, right? He said qala, like qala Allahu or qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? So that's a verb, right? So what are the three letters? Qaf, alif, and lam, right? Qaf, alif, and lam. But really, it's not an alif. Really, it's not an alif because what's the word for a speech or word? When you're gonna see it, it's qawl. So qawlun innahu laqawlun rasulun kareem, right? It's the speech of a messenger. So qawlun and qal, even though they're the same like coming from the similar root, there's an alif and waw difference. So these three letters, we're gonna see that they're sort of like I don't know what to call them, like in physics, like they say, like it can change. They're unstable, basically, elements, so they're gonna change. But for now, the only thing you have to know is words like mustashfa. When you have them in the marfu form or the majrur form, they're not going to change. So just like if you have something like al-faslu, right? What is al-faslu? Faslu is classroom, right? So if I say in the classroom, what's going to happen to faslu? It's going to become fasli, right? So that's going to change. But in this case, if I say in the hospital, that ya is this fatha is on the fa. So that's going to stay the same, but you're not going to put anything on the ya. You're still going to say fil mustashfa. Fil mustashfa. You're not going to change.
So it remains the same.
It stays the same.
And why is that? Because it ends with the weak letter?
Like I said, we're not gonna. I don't want to explain like the morphology of it, partly because I'm not really sure on it right now. But basically, it's like America too. So we wrote America. So that's different. You say huwa Amerikiyun, right? So then actually the alif changes to a ya. If you're saying someone is an American, Amerikiyun. So then it can become Amerikiyan or Amerikiyan. But in this case, the country America is just gonna stay America, even if it's yeah. Min America. You're not gonna say Min Ameriki. Okay? But Amerikiyun, like we said, the alif changes to a ya. Okay. Same thing with what was the other country? Almania, Inkaltara. Okay, so those are the two examples. Any questions? There's other words like it. So there's going to be other words, a lot of words you're not going to see them changing.
Is it for like say if it's from India, then it's going to change?
Min al-Hind. Min al-Hindu. Oh, I'm sorry, Min al-Hindi. So it's going to change. So some countries are like that. They fully decline. America is not one of them. So America is not going to decline. It's not going to change. I know. Mustashfa. So we have Almania, Inkaltarra, Swisra, which means Switzerland. As-sikino.
Knife.
As-sikino is knife, the knife. Faransa, France. Amama, in front of, and khalfa, behind.
New books don't have.
What is?
Swisra.
Suisara, right?
Sui-
Sara.
Swisra.
Is it Sara or at the end?
Suisra.
Because this book it's spelled different and our book is spelled different.
So the way it's spelled in the key that I have is Suwi. Oh.
Sara.
Sara.
But that's because you're going from one language to another. It's not like in stone. I mean, like you go from Arabic to English, you'll find like 20 different ways to spell like the Arabic name.
Right. This is just one way they've just spelled it, and sometimes they spell it a different way. Sorry, what? Suisra. So for some, in my key they have two what's it called, sukuns here, but I think it might be a mistake. It might be a fatha, Suisara. So it could be different. Honestly, it's not really set in stone is what I'm trying to say.
What was the two way before this one?
This one,
No, what's the name of the key? The two way for first person.
Almania is Germany, and then Inkaltarra is England. Okay.
In the same page, the homework we had yesterday, what was the first word in number 1?
هذا الطبيب من إنجلترا.
Not that one.
The page before that.
It's just 42, same page, same book.
So same page as the Kalimat al-Jadida.
It's Iqra.
Oh, اقرأ, sorry. السبورة أمام الطالب.
What is Sabura?
What's sabura?
I didn't get that word.
Whiteboard, right? Whiteboard.
Oh, blackboard, whiteboard.
Yeah, I think it's more for white. Actually, no, it might be chalkboard too.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
yeah, that's what we thought from this picture, but I didn't get the word.
Okay.
anywhere.
It's chalkboard or whiteboard.
Yeah.
What was that?
So it's the Iqra exercise number 6, the first one. السبورة أمام الطالب وهي خلف المدرس. Alright, since there's a bunch of people here, and since we're also recording this, what I'm gonna do is basically do this something which is like going back from the beginning. So basically getting all of our the summary of everything that we've learned up till now, and basically I want to do this like every week or every other week, just so that it sort of gels in your heads. Okay.
So it's a review.
It's basically a review of everything that we've done. You might have already written it down, where I start talking about the 3 types of words, and we talk about the jumla. But I want to have it recorded, and I want to repeat it, so we've covered everything up till now, and then you can reset with that. Okay?
I'm sorry, I have one question. I have a question from the homework that we did. Should I-
Yeah. Anyone has homework questions, ask. Yes.
When this exercise, actually, I think I did the homework that we weren't even supposed to do, but it was the homework, the 3rd section, where it says, you fill out, like the first one is have it to be one, and you just write have it to be rule,
Okay.
and so I was going fine, and then the number 8, where it says
So this is exercise 3.
yeah,
Okay.
so it says hadihi baydatun.
Okay.
And then if you see where the example, they say kabiratun.
So
that basically means I cannot make that baydatun a definite, because the adjective has to follow the noun, right? So previously what I was doing, previously what I would have done was هذه بيضة. But because the adjective was كبيرة, I had to say هذه بيضة كبيرة. Is that right?
هذه بيضة كبيرة. What would that translate to?
This is a big egg. This is a big egg.
No. So what you're supposed to say is this egg is big. So this is, we're looking at number 8 on exercise 3 lesson.
Yeah, see, I would have said that, right? But if you look at the adjective, it's not. It's indefinite.
Right. It doesn't matter. Because if you say.
But didn't you say yesterday that the adjective and the noun have to follow suit?
Then it's
Yes.
incomplete.
So, but in this case, you're saying هذه البيضة. So there's an al, so it's definite.
But it's not. But I'm saying the adjective is not definite. The adjective is
It's indefinite, right? So in this example, what does this say? Al masjidu kabirun, right? Is this definite?
Yes.
Is this indefinite?
Yes.
Yes, right? So the masjid is big. So in this case, you're saying that the masjid is definite, right? It's al, but it's indefinite how you're describing it. So this is a complete sentence. This is, the mosque is big, right? So this is a complete sentence. Here's your mubtada, here's your subject, here's your khabar, your predicate. Okay, so this is a complete sentence. If I took out the al, okay, and I said masjidu kabirun, what if I said masjidun kabirun? Then it means a big masjid.
Yes.
So this is now it becomes an adjective and then a noun that's describing.
And it's still a complete sentence.
It's not a complete sentence.
It's not.
No. This translates to a big mosque. Okay?
Oh yeah.
So you don't have a this can be a subject, but there's no predicate. There's no khabar.
Okay, then yesterday's class we kind of said that the adjective will follow suit with the noun.
Yes. So you have masjidun kabirun.
Yeah, but you're saying the answer to that question was al masjidu kabirun. So
what I was doing was I was comparing this al masjidu kabirun. You could even say, what if I put a hadha? Now what does the sentence become? Hadha al masjidu kabirun.
This is a big mosque.
No.
This mosque
is big. Okay. This mosque.
Shouldn't we have the message Jodi Kabir?
هذا المسجد كبير.
Shouldn't we add Kabir?
Al-Kabir.
No, because then it will be this big mosque. No.
Could be.
No, I thought we said that they have to follow suit.
Right, but we're not. There is no adjective in this sentence. There is no adjective in this sentence. All you have is a mubtada and a khabar.
Okay, that explains it right there. I was thinking that is an adjective where actually it's actually a
No,
predicate.
there is no adjective here.
Okay, I understand now.
All right, now going to his point. What if I took out the one dhamma, and I said هذا المسجد الكبير?
It's an incomplete sentence.
It's an incomplete sentence, which means this big mosque. There is no khabar in this sentence. So all you have an adjective, you have a noun, and you just have a pronoun or a demonstrative pronoun. So there is no. If I said هذا المسجد الكبير جميل, now what is it? Now does it become a sentence?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So you can do this. You can. What we're trying to learn is that you can play around with the hada and the. But it's a little. I know it's a little bit confusing when you get to the adjective.
So when it's the predicate, then it's not going to follow suit. It's going to be opposite, most likely.
The predicate is, if it's one word, it's going to be most likely indefinite. If it's one word. Okay? If it's one word.
So that will
Jamilun is beautiful. Just like you. What was your question? page 44 in the black and white book,
Right.
exercise 4
4, right.
and number 3.
No, exercise 3, not that.
Exercise 4 is the one with the
Exercise 4.
pictures.
Backwards, please.
No, exercise 3, number 3. I mean, exercise 4, number 3.
Exercise 4, اقرأ المثال الآتية, yeah. And then number 3. The picture with the one with the picture of the car.
Right, right.
Okay, so you have to ask لمن هذه السيارة?
So, yeah, right.
So
And
to who does this car belong?
okay. And can we ask the question? Limanil sayaratu sayar.
You're asking if you can ask لمن السيارة?
Right, yeah.
لمن So it's the same thing as saying لمن هذه السيارة.
Is it the same thing?
Yes.
But that one would mean whose car. Then you don't put Hazihi. You cannot say whose car is this.
Whose car is this?
Yeah, now it makes that sentence. Whose car is this? But if you just say Liman Sayarati, it means
So then whose car? Yeah, whose car?
Yeah.
Or just not whose car, not whose car is this, but just whose car.
Whose car?
To who does this belong? Who does this car belong? Really, it's the same thing. It's not that much of a difference.
So would that be a complete sentence then?
It's a question. We don't analyze questions yet.
Okay.
And the answer is, can we say, Hiya li mudiri?
You can say hiya lil mudiri. What else could you say? هذه للمدير. What else?
للمدير.
للمدير. It's not. How do you can say هذه السيارة للمدير. So you can say it different ways. هي للمدير, هذه السيارة للمدير, or هذه للمدير. Okay. What, did you have a question, Paul? Questions? Okay.
When you say lil mudiri, right, we are specifying it. This belongs to the teacher, right?
Mm-hmm.
And can you say this belongs to a teacher instead of making it instead of just take out the alif, li mudiri.
To a teacher, li mudirin.
Li mudiri. Correct.
So it would have two kasras.
Yes, right. So we can say that too, right?
You can say that too. Alright, so when we started Arabic, we said that there were 3 types of words, right? What's the first word?
Noun.
A noun, which in Arabic is called? Ismun, right? Ismun. Give me an example of an ismun. Give me something else, I already heard.
Masjidun.
Masjidun, okay? Masjidun is an example of a noun. It's a person, place, animal, thing. The next we said is verb. Well, how do you say verb in Arabic? Fi'lun. Okay, give me an example of a verb. Zahaba, he went. Kharaja, he left. There was one more in lesson 8, I think. No. Jalasa, right? Jalasa, he sat. Alright, and the third one we said was particle, which in Arabic is haf. Give me another example of haf. Fi, ala, ila, min, li. Li is an example. We're also going to learn bi, which means like from or with or to. So these are all examples of hafs. Huruf. Alright. And then we discussed we discussed the noun specifically, right? So we said that the noun is going to be, can end in 3 cases, right? So what's the default case when it ends with? With dhamma, right? With 1 dhamma or 2 dhammas. And we call that marfu'. Okay, and then when the noun ends with 2 fathas or 1 fatha, mansub. ends with two kasras or one kasra, it's called majroor, right? Dun 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 dun. All right. So, so we said that the default is that everything has dhamma in it, right? Baytun or al-baytu, right? So they all have dhamma in it. Have we learned anything so far up to lesson 8 that changes this to a mansoob case? No, okay. But we did learn majroor, right? So how do you make something from marfu into down to majroor? You put a harf jar, right? So if you put a fi, so if you have something like, let's say a dog. So if I wrote al-kalbu, al-kalbu, alright? So this is the dog, and I'm going to say, it doesn't really make sense. To the dog, okay? You did something to the dog. So if once I put the ila, this dhamma is going to drop down into a kasra. So you're going to say this is a harf, this is a particle, harf of jar. Jar means like pulling it down. And what it did is it made the ism majroor. Okay, so you say harf jar, ism majroor. Okay, harf jar, ism majroor. I think that was basically all for the noun cases. Okay. We'll get to that. Alright, so the next thing we said was that there's two types of sentences, right? So there's the nominal sentence and there's the verbal sentence. What's the nominal sentence in Arabic called? Jumla ismiya. Jumlatun. You don't have to write the Arabic down, but you can, it's good if you have it. Jumlatul ismiya. And then the verbal sentence is jumla fi'liya. Alright, so how do you know the difference? The jumla fi'liya begins with? Begins with a verb, okay. And then a jumla ismiya begins with? Noun. Okay, begins with noun. Alright, and then we said every single jumla ismiya, it has two parts, right? So what are they? Mubtada and khabar, right? So you have your subject. Was the door open? Or is it closed?
Yes, it's open.
It's all okay. So you have the subject, which is called mubtada. And then you have the predicate. And what's another name for predicate? In Arabic, what's it in English? News. So it's whatever you're telling us about the subject. Khabarun. Okay? Yes?
What does it say for the tanween dhamma?
These are the cases.
Yeah, well, I'm asking you, what does that say?
This?
Yeah.
Marfu', mansoob and majroor.
Madfu?
Oh, I guess I didn't write the R. Marfu', mansoob and majroor. Alright, back to the sentence. What else did we say? Does anybody have old notes? Or I guess we can just go back to the book. Okay, so right, if you have something like, I don't want to pick Muslimun. How about this? Mu'minun. Mu'minun. Okay? So this is a verb, it means a believer, right? But it means a male believer. It's someone who is male. So if I want to make it a female believer, what do I have to do? I have to add a ta marbuta, right? So if I add a ta marbuta, it's going to become mu'minatun. instead of the noon getting the two dhammas, I put the two dhammas on the ta marbuta, and I put a fatha on the noon. Mu'minatun. Okay? That's how you would say something is feminine. And then we also did the pronouns, right? So we did the damir. Damir munfasil. Alright, so we showed the hand, right? So we start with the index finger, and we start with huwa, and then huma, and then hum, hiya, and then huma, and then hunna, and then for second person it's anta, and then antuma, and then antum, and then anti for you female, antuma, and then antunna, and then for I, ana, and then for we, nahnu. So everyone just practice just one more time, okay? We're just gonna have it so that because it's gonna come up in the next few lessons, we want to have it memorized so that we're ready. All right, everyone repeat after me. Huma. I'm sorry. Skipped one. All right. Huwa. Huma. Hum. Hiya. Huma. Hunna. Anta. Antuma. Antum. Anti. Antuma. Antunna. Ana. Nahnu. How would you, if you're talking about a group of men and women, what would you use, Brother Najmul?
Group of men.
Yes. Men and women. You would use, you're talking about them.
Oh, about them. It will be huma.
Hum, right? Huma is for how many people?
Two.
Just two, right? And then hum is for three or more. How about if you are addressing a woman, Sister Tahira? You're talking to her. How do you say you to a female? It's this finger. So after huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, then it's anta, antuma, antum, and then anti, right? So if you're talking to a woman, you say anti. So just practice these and just have them memorized so that you know, okay, huwa, huma, hum, that's he, they two, and then more than three or more. Then hiya, huma, hunna, she, two she's, and then three or more. And then anta, antuma, antuma, and so on and so forth, okay? So we want to have this ready because we're going to be doing attached pronouns soon, okay? So just nahnu is what? We, right? If it's me and one other person, or me and
females, we can use either one.
For what?
Nahnu.
Nahnu is me and however many people. Nahnu is me, it could be with 1,000 people, or me and another person.
Regardless of gender. Yeah.
Yes, regardless of male gender. When the malaika of death come down to the people, right before they're about to die, they say nahnu awliya'ukum. To the believers, they say nahnu awliya'ukum fil hayat ad-dunya. We were your protectors in the worldly life. Okay, nahnu awliya. So they say we. All right. What else? Let's just do this one more time. Okay, I'm gonna have everyone get ready. Huwa. Huma. Hum. Hiya. Huma. Hunna. Anta. Antuma. Antum. Anti. Antuma. Antunna. Ana. Nahnu. Okay. All right. So, any question so far? All right. One other thing that we said was. How do you make something possessed by something, right? So how do you say the cat of the father? So you say cat, right? Qittun. Qittun. So let's put the words down. You have qittun, and how do you say father? Abun. Abun. Okay. So you have a cat and a father. Now I want to say the cat of the father. So what do I have to do to qittun?
I'll click two.
Drop the. Do I put an al? No.
Drop one dhamma.
Drop one dhamma. Good. Drop one dhamma. Qittu. And what do I do to to abu?
Put the
I put a kasra. Okay. Instead of two dhammas, I'm going to put a kasra and make it definite by putting al. Right. This is what I'm going to do. Qittul abi. Okay. So your example that we always write is.
Putting al is not necessary.
Sorry.
Putting al is not necessary.
It's not necessary, but in this case it is necessary. It's always necessary when on the last mudaf ilayhi.
How about on the qittun? Can you put?
You cannot put al on. So let me write Rasulullahi and then we'll explain this. Alright. So you have Rasulu. It's definite, but it doesn't have al. So in this case, the first word is called the mudaf, and then the second word is called the mudaf ilayhi. Alright? So what is the rule for the mudaf?
You cannot have the
It's definite, but it cannot have al. Cannot have al. It will not have al ever. Alright?
That's the only solid rule.
Yes. That's the only solid rule. And then what's the rule for mudaf ilayhi?
Has to have kasra.
Must have kasra. Must have kasra. Alright, so this is one of the other ways that something can be in the majroor case. So this is a noun, it's an ism, it's in the majroor case, but it's not majroor because there's a harf jar here. It's majroor because there's a mudaf in front of it and it becomes a mudaf ilayhi. The cat of the father. Okay? Alright, so that was mudaf and mudaf ilayhi. And then the last thing that we did for lesson 9 was mudaf ilayhi. M-U-D-A-F-I-L-A-I-H-I.
So if we didn't put the al in front of abu, would we be able to say the cat of Bayford? You just don't put the al in front of abu?
No. So you have to put al because this has to be definite. It has to be. But what?
Cases where it doesn't have to be. I think it depends on the context.
There's a question that brother, I forget his name, Isa or Yusuf. He asked. He said, how would you say a messenger of Allah? Like how could you make this indefinite? Right? Could you say a cat of the father? Like if the father has many cats, and if you want to say a cat of the father. So there's a way to say that, but it's not exactly with mudaf and mudaf ilayhi. If he comes on Monday, I'll explain it, and then you guys can know it too. But this has to be definite.
So how would you say, like, for instance, the book of Allah?
The book of
Allah.
Allah. Or how about the book of Uthman?
Okay, the book.
Alright. So how would you say that?
You're gonna say Kitabu Uthmani.
Kitabu
Uthmani.
Uthmani, right? Kitabu Uthmani. It's actually Uthmanin. So it's Uthmanun. Then the two dhammas drop down to two kasras.
If it's a name, then of course we're not going to.
If it's a name, then you have two dhammas, right? So the name, but it's still definite. We said Muhammadun, even though there's two dhammas, it's still definite, right?
But Abi, it has Abun, right? That's the default, right?
It's Abu, and then it drops to Abi.
How about this cat belongs to Abu's father? How would you say?
This cat belongs to the father. How would you say that?
Hada.
Hada. No, not qittun. this cat. So you have to make it. You have to make cat definite. هذا القط. Okay, belongs to the dad. للأبي. هذا القط للأبي. What were you saying? Hold on one second. Any question? I mean.
When it says مضاف إليه, under it says must have, and I can't read that word.
كسرة. I know my writing is horrible. كسرة. It's the mark under the letter.
I know what a kasra is.
Alright, just in case.
Well, I think I do.
Alright, oh, the other thing was the adjective, right? So, how do you say a pretty cat or a beautiful cat?
جميل.
جميل could be anything. قط جميل.
Did you say a cat or the?
A beautiful cat. قط جميل. جميل. Okay. So, I don't think we said this, but we'll say it now. The adjective has to agree with the noun that it's describing in 4 matters. Alright? So, it agrees in gender. It agrees in
Number.
definiteness, or definite or indefinite, or indefinite. It agrees in case, like majrur, mansub, marfu, and it agrees in
Gender.
oh no, we said gender. So I think these are the 3 for now. So gender, definiteness, and case. So qittun, is it masculine or feminine?
How about singular plural also? Should the masculine?
So singular or plural, there's going to be another rule for that.
But we should agree on if it is singular, it also should be singular.
Right. And I'm not saying that just because there's a different, it splits up sort of a little bit. But we can write that as saying singular or plural. Right? And actually that's true, because you're not saying many cats. Singular or plural, but I'm going to put that in parentheses. But you're right about that. Alright? So, qittun is masculine and jamilun is feminine, right? So you wouldn't say jamilatun. You wouldn't say a beautiful cat, but the way that you're describing the cat is that there's jamilatun, there's a tambuta, right? So there's a gender. Alright, definite and indefinite, are they both indefinite or definite? Indefinite. And then what case are both of them?
Singular.
Case.
Oh, case.
Marfu, majroor, mansub. Marfu, right? There's both dhammas. And they're both singular. Okay?
Jamila, the word itself is a female, feminine word? Is that what you said?
No.
Oh, okay.
It means handsome or nice looking. Alright? So,